The main character, Harper, is first seen in the opening scene as she approaches a balcony door and witnesses her spouse horrifyingly plunging from the roof in front of her. She made the decision to take a break and travel to the countryside, where she ended up in a stunning country home. Harper helps herself to a morsel from the property's apple tree. We see someone peeking at her from the window. She meets Jeffrey, an awkward landlord, who welcomes her inside and gives her a brief tour of the house. Then, Riley, a friend of Harper's, and her FaceTime. Riley learns about her uneasy landlord from her, and Riley hears how glad she is to be taking this much-needed vacation. Harper eventually finds herself continually reliving the anguish of a personal tragedy. We saw a flashback of Harper and her husband, James, arguing about divorce while she was unpacking the bag. Harper was repeatedly begged by James to rethink the divorce decision, and he also threatened to commit suicide if she didn't. With this in mind, she strolls into a forest, enjoying the mild rain and the beauty and tranquility all around her. Away from all the chaos, she experienced the thrill of freedom and stress-free living. She enters a tunnel that runs beneath a defunct railway line and begins to fill the echoing, eerie tunnel with a harmony of hums. On the other end of the tunnel, she suddenly notices a dark, shrieking figure that disturbs her tranquilly by offering a warning of impending peril. She turns around and travels back in the same direction after getting disoriented. She moved through the forest till she came to an open field. She made the decision to take a picture of the deserted structure when she noticed the creepy nude man staring at her. She left as fast as she could. Harper witnessed the horrifying scene of James' lifeless body lying on the ground. She was in the bath thinking about the tragic episode. It suggests that she is still tormented by the horrific events of that day. Riley calls Harper once more and asks to see her vacation house virtually. The naked man is seen following her around the house. She discovered the naked man trespassing in her garden and made the decision to call the police. She discovered the door was open while on the phone. As the nude man tries to enter, she succeeds in locking the door. Now we are taken aback by Harper and James' prior experiences. While engaged in a heated conversation, Harper was left bleeding on the ground after James punched her in the face. Meanwhile, the cops showed up and took the naked man into custody. She reports to the authorities that he followed her out of the woods. The man was described to Harper as being harmless, bewildered, and not even resisting arrest. She subsequently tells Riley about the event and requests Harper's permission to accompany her because of it, but Riley is informed that the man was not dangerous and was also detained by police. Therefore, there is no longer anything to be concerned about. While exploring the village, Harper came across an empty church and drew great attention to a leaf-faced statue that adorned the front altar. She sat on the bench and reflected on the incident where James hit her. Then Harper goes insane and throws him out of the room. She raged at him, telling him that she no longer cared about him. In the church, Harper sobbed noisily and was in mourning. She encounters Samuel, a boy, shortly after leaving the chapel, and he invites her to play hide and seek with him. He is informed that she has no interest in games. A local vicar of the church then shows up and urges Samuel to go away and stop bothering the woman. The vicar noticed Harper crying in the church and inquired as to whether she required assistance for the pain she was experiencing. He heard a tale about her and James. The vicar also expresses his opinion, but things don't turn out well when he blames Harper for James' death. She then makes a furious exit from the place. Harper walks into the bar and asks for a drink. She also meets her landlord, Jeffrey, and a police officer who informs her that he has released the weird naked man. She got angry and left the bar. Running towards the house, we see the naked man stalking her again. Riley is contacted by Harper over FaceTime to let her know about her strange encounters with the locals. Riley restrained Harper from leaving the area despite her declaration that she would. Riley, being a loyal friend, chooses to accompany her in the village. She requested the address, but after that, every time she tries to reveal her location, nightmare interference shatters the lines of contact. Later, Harper is successful in texting the location. The lights in the house began to flicker. She looked out the window and noticed the cop staring at her. She then posed questions to him, but he remained silent. The lights went out for a split second, and when they came back on, the cop had vanished. All of the apples on the tree began to fall. The boy appeared out of nowhere and chased her down, screaming like a maniac. She then succeeds in closing the front door. She then grabs a knife in order to defend herself. Soon a stone flew into the room, shattering the glass. At the front door, Harper threatens the intruder. Jeffrey walked in as the door opened. She then informs him that someone attempted to break in. Harper and Jeffrey began searching for the intruder. Jeffrey walks around the house, telling her that the intruders may have left. As the lights went off and on, she noticed the naked man in front of him. Harper takes a step back as he approaches her. The flower petal is blown onto her by the naked man. She began to have flashbacks to her life. Harper has become somewhat hypnotized by him. She then shuts the door behind her. The man inserts his hand into the mail slot. Harper is seen holding the man's hands. She quickly realizes the danger and stabs the man's hand, which rips into two as he pulls it out of the mail slot, similar to the injury James suffered on his fall. Harper thought she heard someone in the house. She went in that direction and found Samuel in the other room. He's got the same wound as the naked man's hand. She managed to escape the room and noticed another intruder pursuing her. She quickly hides in the bathroom. Soon after, the vicar enters the bathroom, carrying the same ripped hand as the intruders. Harper stabs and kicks the vicar severely. She dashed towards her car as quickly as she could. She accidentally runs over the landlord Jeffrey while driving away. The landlord has the same ripped hand as well. He stands up, opens the car door, grabs her by the hair, and pushes her to the ground. Jeffrey gets into car and drives away, taking her car with him. Jeffrey returns and attempts to run her over while she is standing in the middle of the road. Fortunately, she was unharmed. The naked man is now in her path. The unsettling atmosphere then begins. The man began giving birth to Samuel instantly, who then gave birth to the vicar. Gave birth to Jeffrey, who finally gave birth to James. She then had a quick chat with James. He then blamed Harper for his death, and when asked what he desired, he replied, "Love." Riley arrives at the location and finds her car crushed. She then looked for Harper and discovered her sitting alone in the garden. The film then comes to an end here. If you like this video, vote this video up, and to see more contents like this in the future, please hit the subscribe button. So long for now.